Now we shall discuss about the working of an IC engine. So, an IC engine consists of a cylinder. Basically, a cylinder. Cylinder means it is in cylindrical shape. Actually, it consists of a rectangular block in which there is a cylindrical hole made. Okay, so if you see the top view, so this is a rectangular block, and here you will find a hole. So this hole is like this. Okay, the cylinder will be like this. Okay, now so this is the cylinder, and basically it is open. So basically it is open like this. That means it is open to air. The hole is open to air. So that's why you will place a cap. You will place a cap on it, which is called as cylinder head. So this is the cylinder, and this is the cylinder head. Okay, now this cylinder head covers the hole so that it is closer from the top. And now in this cylindrical hole there is a cylindrical piston. So this is a piston like this. A cylindrical piston will be there. Okay, so and this piston is connected to a connecting rod. So this rod is called as connecting rod, and in turn this connecting rod is connected to the crank. So here the crank is the rotating element. See, this element is called as crank, and this element is called as connecting rod. So this is the basic linkage in the IC engine. So this is an internal combustion engine. Okay, so here if you observe, this is the piston. It is a cylindrical piston which reciprocates from top to bottom, bottom to top, like that it moves. So this motion is called as reciprocating motion. So when the piston moves downwards from top to bottom, what happens is this connecting rod, which is connecting both the piston and the crank, okay, it converts the reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion of the crank. So the main element responsible for conversion of reciprocating motion into rotary motion is this connecting rod. See what happened? It is like this. So when it moves upwards like this, it will come. So from here the crank is connected. Is it right or not? So as the piston moves downwards, this connecting rod, see, when the piston is here, for example, then the connecting rod will be here, the crank will be here. When the piston is at the bottommost position, it will be here, the crank is here. So like that the crank rotates as the piston reciprocates from, as the piston moves downwards from top to bottom. Initially the crank is in vertical position, and as it moves downwards, piston moves downwards, it rotates like this. So it makes 180 degrees revolution. When the piston moves from top to bottom, the topmost position is called as TDC, top dead center. I will explain once again. The bottommost position is called as BDC, bottom dead center. When the piston moves from TDC to BDC, the crank makes 180 degrees revolution. And again when the piston moves from BDC to TDC, the crank makes the remaining 180 degrees revolution. So that it completes one complete revolution of 360 degrees when the piston makes 2 strokes. Here stroke in the sense from top to bottom 1 stroke. Again from bottom to top another stroke. So here 1 revolution of the crank can be completed with 2 strokes of the piston. What Bhaskara? So when the piston moves from top to bottom and bottom to top, 1 revolution is completed. Like that, this piston reciprocates so many number of times when it is running, so that the crank also rotates so many number of times. So that's why the rotary motion is produced. So this is the basic linkage and the conversion of reciprocating motion into rotary motion inside the engine. Is it clear? Well, then how does the piston moves from top to bottom or bottom to top? Okay. Here, the place above the piston is called as combustion chamber. So the place above the piston is called as combustion chamber. So what is meant by combustion? Burning of fuel in the presence of oxygen. Okay. So here the fuel burns. The fuel is allowed to enter into the cylinder. Okay. Along with the air. So the fuel is ignited so that it burns in the presence of oxygen by utilizing the oxygen in the air, and hence enormous amount of heat energy is developed. That means gases are formed. Combustion gases are formed. So the pressure of the gases is very high, so that due to the pressure of the gases, they exert force on the piston. So that's why the piston moves downwards. As it reaches the downmost position, it cannot move further because this is the bottom dead center because of the linkages. So what happens is, once again, as the piston reaches the bottommost position, the pressure is completely reduced. The pressure of the gas is completely reduced. Then again the piston will move upwards because of the crank action. See, when the piston is moving downwards due to the pressure of the gases, the crank rotates quickly like this. So due to the inertia of the piston, it completes its revolution. So as it completes the revolution, again the piston will move upwards because of the connecting rod. So this is what happens inside the engine. Did you get my point? There are 4 basic events inside the engine. First of all, the piston will be at the top dead center and the fuel will enter. Fuel plus air will enter. Okay. First one is entry of the fuel. Next, ignition of the fuel. Ignition means starting. As you start a gas stove with a lighter, there will be a spark plug in case of petrol engines. So as the spark is given, the fuel explodes. That means burning takes place instantaneously, immediately. So as the burning took place, it exits, the combustion gases exert pressure on the piston so that it moves downwards. So the power is developed. And again, when the piston moves upwards from bottom to top, all the exhaust gases, whatever be there inside the combustion chamber, are expelled out. They are sent out through a valve. Okay. So this is what happens inside the engine. And again in the next cycle, fresh charge will enter into the cylinder. So this is the basic functioning of an IC engine. Is it clear? Now we shall discuss the construction and functions of each and every part of an IC engine in detail.